How does the Prime Minister justify his claim this morning that wage increases will outstrip price increases when his own budget document explains that wage increases this year will be 2.6% and inflation 5.9%? Wage increases next year will be and the year after will be higher than will be less than the CPI inflation.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, because the member is demonstrating to the House that he doesn't understand economics, and that is that the Reserve Bank Governor has made it quite clear he'll be looking through the inflation implications of the GST increase, and those GST increases, well, the Reserve Bank Governor's not wrong, Grant, that's what he does. And then from that point on, the Reserve Bank Governor, Mr. Speaker, New Zealanders will be a lot better off because of the personal tax cuts they get. I stand by the statement I've said that New Zealanders will have a $4.3 billion personal tax cut or thereabouts, funded off a $2 billion GST increase.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, how will home renters, 500,000 of them, be better off when the Property Investors Federation has made clear that the extra costs imposed on them in the budget will be passed on directly to tenants, and tenants on average will be paying $34 a week extra in rent?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, they'll be better off because, as the Treasury quite correctly points out in the budget documents that the member's just been quoting from, so I assume he's read, that they expect rents to rise by 1.4% over the 3 to 5 years, an awful lot better than the 2.6% they went under a Labor government. Mr. Speaker, I must say, when I looked at the Herald this morning, the sub-editors had taken a little bit of licence. They wrote in the front here, John Key says we'll all be better off, but extra costs are here ahead of extra cash. I was thinking to myself, thank goodness it's not Prime Minister Phil Goff, because otherwise it would be we'll all be worse off with more extra costs and no extra cash.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
A supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
The Opposition.
How will homeowners be better off this year when, if you take, say, a young family in my electorate with a $300,000 mortgage, they'll be paying, by the end of this financial year, $60 to $100 a week extra in interest rates on that mortgage, which will far exceed anything they'll get in tax cuts?
The Honourable
Mr.
Prime
Speaker,
Minister.
I'm glad the member raised that, because when he was in office, the cash rate for mortgages...
Point of order, Mr.
Point
Speaker.
of order, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, my question was very specific and precise. How would a family like this be better off when their interest rates this year will exceed the amounts they get in tax cuts? Nothing about a Labor government there.
Order.
Speaking to the point of order.
Speaking to the point of order, the Honourable
Mr.
Prime
Speaker,
Minister.
I think it's going to get a bit ridiculous if the Leader of the Opposition is going to make open-ended statements which cannot, A, be proven to be correct, and secondly, then just get on his feet and try and interrupt me. The point I was about to make is a very clear point which specifically goes to the fact that interest rates were higher under a Labor government than a national government.
We'll hear the Prime Minister answer the question then, and it's just preferable for answers not to immediately, right up attack the questioner's party or the questioner first off, but let's hear the Prime Minister's answer.
Well, Mr. Speaker, under a national government, official cash rates have been at virtually all-time lows. They are currently now at 2.75%, which means the cash rate or mortgage rates are currently 6%. Under a Labor government, the mortgage rate was 10.9%. And one of the reasons that interest rates won't go up as fast under this government as they did under that government is the way you'll get interest rates up is have a government that wastes a whole lot of money and puts pressure on the system. That's what Labor did for 9 years.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Order. Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Which statement are we to believe? The statement that the Prime Minister made that Bill and Mary Smith rang him this morning, or his statement to Jerry Brownlee a moment ago when he said in answer to the question, I just made it up?
Exactly. We saw it.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Yeah.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
He can believe both.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, can I ask the Prime Minister to repeat that answer? Which was it? Was it true, or did he just make it up?
Order. I didn't hear, Mr. Speaker. It seems members didn't hear the answer. If the Prime Minister could assist.
Mr Speaker, I didn't hear the surname of the wife, so I'm not sure it's Mary, but it was definitely Bill.
Question number 3, John Boscawen. We'll now hear question number 3, John Boscawen.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister